Hello, this is Finance Terms Dictionary. What is Form 1040, U.S. Individual Tax Return? Form 1040 is the standard Internal Revenue Service, IRS, form that individual taxpayers use to file their annual income tax returns. The form contains sections that require taxpayers to disclose their taxable income for the year to determine whether additional taxes are owed or whether the filer will receive a tax refund. Key takeaways. Form 1040 is what individual taxpayers use to file their taxes with the IRS. The form determines if additional taxes are due or if the filer will receive a tax refund. Personal information, such as name, address, social security number, and the number of dependents, are asked for on Form 1040. A filer also needs to report wages, salary, taxable interest, capital gains, pensions, social security benefits, and other types of income. Taxpayers may need to file supplemental Tax 1040 forms depending on their situation. Understanding Form 1040. Form 1040 needs to be filed with the IRS by April 15th in most years. Everyone who earns income over a certain threshold must file an income tax return with the IRS. Businesses have different forms to report their profits. The IRS overhauled the 1040 form for the 2018 tax year after passage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, and it examined, according to the agency, ways to improve the 1040 filing experience. The new, shorter 1040 was billed as easing communication of future tax law changes and reducing the number of 1040s from which taxpayers must choose. The new 1040 form includes 2 pages to fill out which are available on the IRS website. Form 1040 can be mailed in or e-filed. Form 1040 prompts tax filers for information on their filing status, such as name, address, social security number. Some information on one spouse may also be needed, and the number of dependents. Types of Form 1040. Taxpayers in certain situations may need to file a different variant of the 1040 form instead of the standard version. Below are the options. Form 1040 NR. A variety of non-resident aliens or their representatives need to file this form. Those who are engaged in trade or business in the United States. Representatives of a deceased person who would have had to file a Form 1040 NR. Those who represent an estate or trust that had to file a 1040 NR. Form 1040 NR GEZ has been replaced with Form 1040 NR. The IRS also produces the 1040 SS and 1040 PR. The 1040 SS is for residents of American Samoa, the CNMI, Guam, Puerto Rico, or the U.S. Virgin Islands who have net self-employment income and do not have to file Form 1040 with the U.S. Form 1040 PR is the Spanish-language equivalent of Form 1040 SS. Form 1040 ES. This form is used to figure and pay estimated quarterly taxes. The estimated tax applies to income that isn't subject to withholding, which includes earnings from self-employment, interest, dividends, and rents. This may also include unemployment compensation, pension income, and the taxable portion of Social Security benefits. Form 1040-V. This is a statement accompanying a taxpayer's payment for any balance on the amount you owe line of the 1040 or 1040 NR. Form 1040-X. If a filer makes a mistake or forgets to include information on any 1040 form, Form 1040-X is used for making changes to previously filed 1040s. Form 1040-SR. The IRS introduced a new 1040 form for seniors in 2019. Form 1040-SR changes include a larger font, no shading, shaded sections can be hard to read, and a standard deduction chart that includes the extra standard deduction for seniors. The form also asks about full-year health coverage and whether the taxpayer wishes to contribute $3 to presidential campaign funds. The 1040 income section asks the filer to report wages, salary, taxable interest, capital gains, pensions, social security benefits, and other types of income. The new tax legislation eliminated many deductions, including for unreimbursed employee expenses, tax preparation fees, and moving for a job, except for military on active duty. The new 1040 uses what the IRS terms a building block approach and allows taxpayers to add only the schedules they need to their tax return. Some individuals may now need to file one or more of 6 new supplemental schedules with their 1040 in addition to long-standing schedules for such items as business income or loss, depending on whether they're claiming tax credits or owe additional taxes. Many individual taxpayers, however, only need to file a 1040 and no schedules. First, the IRS requires individuals with gross income of certain levels to file taxes. This gross income threshold varies based on the individual's filing status and age. The table below lists the income limits for individuals under 65 years old. Older taxpayers will have higher thresholds, and the threshold changes if neither, one, or both individuals in a marriage are 65 or older. Second, children and dependents may not be required to file if they can be claimed as a dependent. If the dependent's unearned income greater than $1,100, earned income was greater than $12,550, or gross income meets certain thresholds, the dependent must file their own Form 1040. These rules are slightly different for single dependents as opposed to dependents who are married. Last, there are some specific situations that require an individual to file Form 1040. Regardless of their income or dependency status, some of those situations include but are not limited to: you owe additional special taxes such as alternative minimum tax. You receive HSA or other health account distributions. You had net earning from self-employment of at least $400. You met income threshold limits for wages earned from a church. What is Form 1040 used for? Form 1040 is the primary tax form used by U.S. taxpayers to file their annual income tax returns. Taxpayers input their personal information and tax information onto the form, then submit the form to the IRS for review. Is Form 1040 the same as a W-2? Form 1040 is different than a W-2. A W-2 is a wage and tax statement an employee receives from a company they worked for during the tax year. The information listed on the W-2 is used to fill out Form 1040. Where can I find Form 1040? Form 1040 is not a tax statement or form that gets distributed to taxpayers. Unlike a W-2 or 1099 statement that is mailed by an employer or party you've contracted with, Form 1040 is available for download on the IRS website. In addition, free IRS filing platforms such as Free File Fiable Forms will provide digital copies. Last, some public courthouses or federal buildings in your community may offer paper copies available for pickup. What is the difference between a 1040 and 1099? Form 1040 and Form 1099 are different components to an individual's tax return. There are many different types of Form 1099, but Form 1099 is most commonly given to independent contractors to remit tax information relating to payments they received during the tax year. This information is used to complete Form 1040, as the financial records listed on Form 1099 are input into Form 1040. The bottom line: Form 1040 is the central part of tax filing for United States citizens. It is the tax form that all taxpayer financial statements eventually feed into and supporting tax schedules branch out of. Regardless of an individual's filing status or income, taxpayers who file taxes will complete some version of Form 1040.